travel time. And as a welcome to LAX special, new members can get their first 3 months of Clear free. Go to clearme.com/LAX. That's CLEARME.com/LAX for your first 3 months free. Hurry, this offer ends soon. Clearme.com/LAX.
Track lighting. Get it? Track lighting is up. You can use that.
Chance of showers for the afternoon, about 20% chance. Highs tomorrow, 70s at the beach, 80s and 90s inland. Traffic from your helpless SoCal Honda Traffic Center crash in Burbank on the 5.
That's on the south side of Western Avenue, taking away your right lane, loading up your driveway. In Commerce, a work zone on the 5 south from Garfield Avenue to Slauson Avenue. Right lane is blocked until 6 a.m. due to electrical.
Stream on your own. When children play. Seems like
My next bumper is going to be Brother Love's Traveling Salvation Show by Neil Diamond.
August night and the leaves hanging down and the grass on the ground smelling sweet.
It's a great song.
Move up the road to the outside of town and the sound of that good God. Everyone goes, 'cause everyone knows, show. And that gospel group telling you and me it's love for the lost where there ain't no trees.
All right. I missed someone's little question. Yes, we will. I'm on a Neil Diamond kick right now, though. We had a hard day out at the Suits family farm. We peaked at 9 roosters as of a week ago. We whacked 2 last week, and then today we had to do a 4. We had to do a 4 shot today. And my daughter insisted on doing one of them, so I was pretty proud of her because she felt my wife is completely freaked out by the killing of the chickens, of the roosters, but my daughter took to heart what I said last week when she was freaking out about eating it, and she goes, the ghost will haunt me, and I said, you know what, you will be a huge fraud if we killed these roosters and you don't eat them. You're going to be a huge fraud. So she took it to heart. And she was going to kill one today, and I told her, you don't have to do that. I said, I appreciate the offer, and I said, if you think that, if you think that you have to do that to make me happy, you don't have to do that. I said, it's just enough that you help us with the plucking and the gutting and the whole thing. But she was serious. She was gonna do one of the roosters, this one that we call Honeycut. But he's one of the ones that attacks her, like a gigantic asshole, so she wanted him dead. But she did watch me. She watched how I do it. And you hang him upside down, you cut him here, and then you stick a knife up in their throat. And that's called pithing. You split their brain. And they just go whoop, and they stop moving. So you do a quick cut, and then you pith them, and it's all over. It is weird. If you chop their heads off, the American style, they actually do run around, which is kind of a little freaky. But if you do it quickly and humanely like that, you can bleed them out really easily.
When you were a kid, how would you know? I'm Fred Joy, founder of 1-800.
So I was pretty happy.
1-800-DENTIST helps you find a dentist with the latest technologies, like CEREC. CEREC is the solution for safe. Spending gaps of time with gaps in your teeth. With technology like CEREC, it makes your dental plan easier, faster, and more comfortable. You no longer need comfortable step. You know that icky goo and oppression? CEREC eliminates that too. So don't wait. Find a dentist with CEREC. To learn more about CEREC and book your appointment today, visit 1-800-DENTIST.com/CEREC.
Well, because if you have too many roosters, you don't get eggs. because they're so aggressive with the hens. They're such assholes. I mean, roosters rape, right? And we have one king rooster who's about 10 years old. He has these huge spurs, but there's only so much work he can do. And so you shouldn't have that many roosters. We bought them from a guy in Tehachapi who said, oh, yeah, they've been sexed. They're all hens. Well, the fucking guy, 7 of them turned out to be roosters. And then one of our eggs that our rooster and one of our hens lay, we kept it and hatched it, and it turned out to be a rooster. So anyway, he's Little Roo. Our big rooster's named Rooski. And so we kept him, but he's a rooster.
Where there ain't no trees, and that gospel grew.
KFI M640, more stimulating talk, everybody. Neil Diamond. Super Hyper Local Sunday. Brian Sutin here until 10 p.m. And luckily, most of the news is settled. And we don't have an update on Dana Point. So our Twitter source down there in Dana Point, if you want to give us a heads up on whether or not there's a resolution down there, but there's still a guy barricaded in a higher end townhome complex called Tennis Villas. A really ugly Corvette crash in Irvine Saturday morning has 2 women dead. At about 2:20 a.m., police and fire crews responded to a single vehicle crash on northbound Jamboree between Main and Kelvin Avenue. A Irvine police spokesman said 2 women in a Chevy Corvette were pronounced dead at the scene, while a male occupant was taken to a hospital in critical condition. The women have been identified as a 26-year-old Jamie Lopez of Santa Ana and 26-year-old Nancy Ortiz of Garden Grove. A fire hydrant that had been sheared off was turned off. Because of the crash is under investigation. Jamboree was closed in both directions between Main and Kelvin as police went over the scene. And if you see any of the TV reports about this, it looks like the Corvette had to roll or something. And also keep in mind, Corvettes literally have fiberglass bodies. So they don't survive high-speed interactions with physics as well as, say, a Mercedes or something. But how do you But don't some Corvettes actually have back seats? Do they? What if a Corvette owner wants to have a family? Should he make better life choices? I don't know, but I guess so. But 3 people, 2 a.m. Well, that's a real head scratcher. What would cause that? The movie Dunkirk is the winner. Christopher Nolan's World War II film stormed the box office with a better-than-expected $50 million domestic debut, the best opening in recent memory for a World War II movie, and a testament to the Christopher Nolan brand. Overseas, the film also impressed, $55 million from its first 46 markets. Number 1 everywhere for a global assault. By the way, this is the Hollywood Reporter pulling out all their war lexicon for a war movie. A global assault of 105.9 million. The UK, where Christopher Nolan is from, led with 12 million, which frankly is kind of surprising. I mean, I know there's not gazillions of people in the UK, but I would have thought it would have been the only movie that people in the UK would see would be Dunkirk. But anyway, 12.4 million. So number 1, US. Number 2, the UK. Number 3, South Korea. The South Koreans going to a movie about a military force surrounded on all sides and about to be pushed into the sea. That might be very relevant to the people of South Korea sometime in the near future. But anywho, 10 million out of South Korea. Dunkirk will need sizable staying power in order to recoup a net production budget of 100 million and major marketing spend. But it will, and I'm going to, for free, I don't get a piece of the action here, but I cannot pimp that movie enough. And I am going to spend full boat matinee to go see it on IMAX again. So, yeah, here's why. This is what, and I did it on accident because it was at the right time. But Leo Laporte yesterday was pointing out that the film was actually shot in a different aspect ratio than you're normally used to in widescreen films. It was actually shot for maximum IMAX delivery, basically. It was shot in a 2.1 to 1 ratio. IMAX screens give you more up and below, I mean. It's not like letterbox. It gives you a higher ceiling and a lower floor. I haven't seen it, no. I saw Guardians of the Galaxy 2 in 3D IMAX. But Dunkirk, I don't even think it's been done in 3D. But Leo Laporte said, and I trust him on this, that you have to see it in IMAX because if you don't, you're getting information cut off. And you know what? The reason that I believe him on that is because some of the scenes then there's 3 parallel tracks. One of them is Tom Hardy, the English actor, in a fighter plane, in a Spitfire, and it's a full facial shot. You see full cockpit and all this, and you have to see the sky above his head, and then his hands on the controls and stuff like that. So by accident, I saw it the correct way. So yeah, I highly recommend you go see a IMAX matinee or win the lottery and go see a nighttime IMAX. But no, it was phenomenal. And then I've got a friend who went in with really no backstory, no research, and he still said, yeah, I thought it was great. And then I briefed somebody before they went in, and they said, had you not briefed me on that, I might have been lost on quite a bit of that. So definitely do your research. Just go to Wikipedia and read Battle of Dunkirk. But terrific. I'm glad to see it did well. I'm really, really glad. It's a beautiful movie, done extremely well about a significant piece of Western history that most Americans don't know about, and frankly, it's sort of it's one of the central pieces of the English identity in the past 1,000 years, and it's an extraordinary story, told extremely well, also in a very, very beautifully filmed movie, just really, really amazing. But I didn't even see what number 2 was. Does anyone know what number 2 was? Hollywood Reporter doesn't have it. Anyway, the number 2 film was... Oh! Okay. Spider-Man Homecoming's kind of fallen off pretty quick. And that's only been out for 3 weeks now. Yeah. It's week 3, and World War II is kicking it in the tights. I think it will. I think tomorrow, when I'm filling in for Bill Handel, and when people are coming to work, they're going to go, yeah, go see Dunkirk. So I think it'll have significant during the week and next weekend chops. So I'm glad. Excellent. All right, we'll be back in just a second. What do you need with 15,000 Xanax pills? Say police to a La Palma man. That and more coming up. Super Hyperlocal Sunday. Brian Suits in here until 10 p.m. on KFI AM 640. More stimulating talk. Michael Chappé with the news. An RFB or an RDB? What's an RDB? You mean an RFB? A Keltec RFB? Yeah. What do you think? Oh, yeah. Yeah. I nearly bought one of those stupid FN 2000s that forward eject. But no, I want to get the Keltec RFB, but I can't live in California with it. Though I got to say, in what form is it legal in California? Oh, I know. It's a great company. I mean, I don't know why, they make terrific stuff like that foldable SU-16. I still have one of those. I love it. It only, it cost $500, and it takes AR-15 mags, gas operated. It's brilliant. And I don't have the California one. Yeah, we're going to talk about the Mexican fans leaving the Rose Bowl right now. They lost. Yeah, what do they change? I guess the magazine isn't removable or something? Yeah, but Mexican fans...
Dude taken into custody, apparently. Dana Point.
Oh, Mr. Dana Point? Okay. Yeah, so they were doing that... homophobic chant, and they lost. What's that? They use gas?
Yeah, it's an Oak County Sheriff little tweet that says, SWAT made entry after deploying gas, subject taken into custody, community safe.
Oh. Warrant served. They gassed the Dana Point guy out. Mm-hmm. Yes. And Justin is no longer part of the show. So Mike Schaefer will be in for Justin.
What do you think? That's pretty sexy. It looks aggressive.
We are quite. I'm bumping back with the Aquabats. And the Aquabats are queued up. KFI, AM 640, more stimulating talk. It is Super Hyper Local Sunday. Brian Suits in here until 10 p.m. And we will check in with the world's most depressed Dodgers fan, Though the Dodgers are up 10.5 games in the NL West, he's still the world's most depressed Doyers fan. We'll check in with him. By the way, a couple of breaking things. Mexico just lost to Jamaica in the Rose Bowl in the soccer, in the kicking soccer. And the Mexican fans did do that homophobic thing where they yell puto or whatever when the enemy goalie kicks the ball away and the whole thing. But they just lost 2-0. I thought they lost it 0-2. Nil. Oh, was it 1-0? 1-0. 1-0. And so there's a lot of unhappy people probably getting on the 210. I'm going to say maybe the 134, etc., and leaving Pasadena. Yeah, you want to maybe get out of that area. And so, also, update number 2 from the Orange County Sheriff's Department. 7 minutes ago, they tweeted thusly, quote, update, SWAT made entry after deploying gas. This is the Dana Point guy. Gunshot earlier at Tennis Villas. The woman in the townhomes claiming that it was accidental discharge of a weapon. The guy won't come out. He's been in there for 8+ hours. OC Sheriff's Department says, quote, SWAT made entry after deploying gas. Subject taken into custody. Community is safe. Close quote. Full stop. There you go. And so we'll probably have tomorrow when I'm filling in for Bill Handel, we'll have a little bit more about why the guy, in fact, decided not to come out and why he now had to ruin his townhome with the smell of oleosporin capsicum with OC tear gas, which does not come out of stuff. Yeah. Who knows? He gets up and he's like, oh man, that helicopter's been there for hours. What the hell? So we'll know more tomorrow, undoubtedly. Well, how about this for a traffic stop? On Friday, July 21st, La Palma, a man was arrested after a traffic stop after the police found more than 15,000 Xanax tablets hidden in his car. Daniel Maharena of La Palma was arrested on suspicion of possession of an assload of a controlled substance for sale. This is La Palma Police Sergeant Juan Coe saying this. Acting on a tip, officers stopped a silver Honda operated by Maharena around 5 p.m. at the intersection of Thelma and Walker. A drug-sniffing dog from Buena Park PD found the Xanax pills, took a long nap, and when he woke up, he alerted on the trunk. So 15,000 Xanax pills worth about 30,000 in plastic baggies in the trunk. A small amount of cocaine and cash were recovered from the car, and that's just like check the box on that one. But so basically, you have 15,000 Xanax tablets, and they're saying they're worth $30,000. Let me do some quick math on that one. So you're saying they're $2 a pill? I thought Xanax was like really. I thought all the kids were taking it. I thought it was like $10 a pill. So I mean, shouldn't that be 150,000? Oh, that's true. Could be, but anyway, 30,000 in Xanax. So I'm not quite sure if he's into federal territory on that one. I don't know what the federal schedule is for Xanax. And again, the assumption here is that he doesn't actually have a prescription for this, that is a felony. If you're in possession of prescription drugs and you don't have a prescription for it, you're going to have a pretty much of a hard day. But 15,000 Xanax tablets. He apparently planned on having a really hard life for the next decade, and he needed a Xanax. So he is in the Hooskow, so there was no reason for any gnashing of teeth anywhere. Well, I don't know, Josh. You want me to get the Dodgers song, the Danny K DODG, the Dodgers song, or do you just want to launch into it? Would that pump you up? Because I want to turn that frown upside down for you. So you have not had sex. You haven't had success. In all honesty, in your adult lifetime. How old were you when the Doyers won their last World Series? That was Dr. Freud, line 3. Dr. Freud, line 3. You were like minus 5 years old, right? So you are treasuring that memory. So So now they have just had the best first half of a season since they have in the history of the franchise. Yeah. And so, that's really bad sound. I know I had a better one earlier. And so now you're 10.5 games ahead in the NL West. I mean, I can't think of a team that has screwed up a lead like that, except maybe the Mariners. Like we were talking the 2002 or whatever Mariners. Why are you walking around here like you've been kicked in the crotch? What's your problem? We don't know that though. Second, if people haven't heard his 16th pitch today, Clayton Kershaw had a 2 outs in the second inning. He has a Brave up there with a 3-1 count. He throws a fastball and he kind of hesitates after his follow through, and then he comes. Dave Roberts notices that he's not pitching right. He completes the inning. He finishes out the inning, but then he goes into the dugout and disappears. And now he's going to see a back specialist and the whole thing. And you're assuming the worst. That could be precautionary. But keep in mind, purely precautionary. The guy had back surgery last year. Of course, he would go to a back specialist if he had a pain in the lower back. Like he said that he knew something wasn't right immediately. But then they didn't speculate anymore. And so this is where he should be going. And so maybe this time tomorrow they say clean bill of health. It was just a pulled muscle or something. Unlike any other sport where I believe it's purely the performance on the field and it's the data and it's the numbers and the work, in baseball I really do believe in good luck and bad luck and in karma. So you got to turn that frown upside down. And I say that as a Giants fan. It's worked for me. Our 3 World Series over the past 7 years have been entirely because I've believed in them. So there, with a huge asterisk. All right, Super Rapid Local Sunday one more time. Brian sits in here until 10 p.m. on KFI AM 640. More stimulating talk. Michael Chapay with the news.
The others have been hospitalized in southern Iran. 3 are said to be in critical condition.
Yeah, Robin will probably email me about that.
Victory for Dunkirk at the weekend box office. Christopher Nolan, World War II epic, earned more than...
We're still on a death spiral for... Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are... demographically, they're still not having babies. By the way, when the texts come up, are they right here? Or do you see the full screen? Do only I see the movie 71 is phenomenal. The movie 71 is amazing. Amazing. It's a movie about a British soldier in Northern Ireland in 1971, and he gets separated from his unit, and he has to outrun the IRA all night long. And then then there's some other stuff going on, but yeah, check that out. The movie's called 71. It's amazing. Yeah, the Iranians claim that one of their Scud variants was fired by the Houthi militia in Yemen at a Saudi oil port in Jeddah, and that the re-entry vehicle was maneuverable. And the Iranians sent some pictures, and it looks remarkably like the North Korean Scud missile maneuverable reentry vehicle. It looks like a regular warhead cone, but there's 4 veins on it. And everybody knows, it's a terribly kept secret that that North Korean missile developments are also Iranian missile developments, and vice versa. That every technology that the North Koreans perfect winds up in Iran, because the Iranians are probably funding it. The Iranians also have they have engineers who permanently live in North Korea, and the North Koreans had engineers in Iran and Syria. So it's just a giant crowdsource. That's just the way it is. So any technology right now, the North Koreans look like they're going to test another one of their submarine launched. Oh shit! Another one of their submarine launched ballistic missiles in the Sea of Japan, and that technology will probably be applied to the Iranian subs. If Aegis is in range, it can. The Churchill movie with Gary Oldman looks phenomenal. It looks great. The only thing I didn't like about it is that Gary Oldman apparently is not trying to do a Churchill impression, which, I kind of think maybe he should, but it looks great. The Churchill movie looks terrific. I just wish that Gary Oldman had done a little more voice work on that. That's one of the trailers you get, by the way, before Dunkirk, is you get the Churchill movie, which I believe it's called Darkest Hour. Is that right? I believe it's called Darkest Hour. No, not Darkest Something. Darkest Hour. Yeah, that's right. I think it's Darky McDarkface. But Gary Oldman, I think, is just one of the best. One of the best. Tim Roth and Gary Oldman, I think, are both phenomenal actors. And they can be seen together in Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead, which is a terrific adaptation of the play, the Tom Stoppard play. Well, I'm going to Timmy Nolan's after this. Who's in Toluca Lake? All right, final bumper. Final bumper. Should I? I know what team song to play. I already played the Johnson commercial last week, didn't I? I thought I did. Yep. What in the world? KFI, AM 640, more stimulating talk. It is super hyper local Sunday. Brian Suits in here one last time, just randomly playing any random bumper that just was there on the queue. Who knew? Then tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. I'm filling in for Beal Handel on Monday and Tuesday. So please enjoy, and we'll be joined again tomorrow morning by David Vassay, your Dodgers insider, the Doyers Clubhouse insider from our sister station AM 570 KLAC down the hall. Let's see, where do we go? Man hospitalized after being shot by school police. As a reminder to everybody, LA Unified is so huge, they have their own police department. It's not LAPD, it's LA Unified Police Department. A man was rushed into surgery after being shot by at least one officer with the Los Angeles School Police Department at Westlake early Sunday. These are not the LAPD cadets, by the way. They're in fact not armed. They're all under 21 and under 18, and they're kind of like explorers. LA Unified has a completely different police department, and they can shoot you. 2 officers on patrol at Esperanza Elementary School made contact with the man who was armed with a knife around 2:45 a.m. And by the way, isn't that cracky that it's the summer? It's late July. LA Unified Police are still patrolling around an elementary. But you'd think they'd take the summer off, but you'd be wrong if you're some knife-wielding madman. This was according to Lieutenant Chris Ramirez with the LAPD, which is now investigating the incident. The officers came into contact with the man off school grounds on the street near the intersection of 7th Street and Union Avenue. He was unsure whether the encounter was prompted by a radio call or observation. It was also unclear what behavior the man displayed that prompted a show of force from officers. Ramirez told the LA Times that the man was holding the knife in a threatening manner or brandishing it, which is illegal. After making contact with the man, the officers used a beanbag shotgun in an attempt to take him into custody. He fled. The officers, however, were not to be deterred. They gave chase and used the beanbag gun a second time after they found him again. After that, the officer-involved shooting occurred. The man was struck and taken to the hospital. Remember, LA Unified, they got one of those federal grants where they requested an MRAP. They requested one of the up-armored Afghanistan Army vehicles called mine-resistant, ambush-proofed armored cars, MRAPs. The federal government has so many, they went overboard that like UC Davis, University of California, Davis got one. There was so much uproar they gave it back. LA Unified, somebody in that department, LA Unified Police is a really good grant writer. They wrote the grant, they got approved for the grant, so the Los Angeles Unified School District was going to have grenade launchers and an armored car. And so the LA Unified was so burned by the publicity that they turned it down. They said, all right, maybe we can deal with our problems some other way. So they turned down the armored car. A large shark has been seen off Coronado Beach. It's prompted a warning. And this, unlike Discovery Channel, this was not a really, really bad computer-generated shark racing Michael Phelps. This is a very actual shark. Off Coronado, a surfer's sighting of a shark estimated to be longer than 10 feet prompted lifeguards to issue an advisory at Coronado Silver Strand on Saturday. 24-hour advisory warns beachgoers within a mile radius of the potential threat. The surfer, also a former commercial fisherman, so he knows from whence he speaks. He spotted the shark around 8:10 a.m. The surfer advised another nearby surfer of the shark, and both paddled to shore safely. The dorsal fin was between 12 and 16 inches tall. Lifeguards did not reveal what kind of shark it may have been. It's a gigantic secret. and you're not going to get it out of them. But probably a great white. But so anyway, it's been a big shark year. Remember, just about a month ago, there was a gang of juvenile, immature sharks that were terrorizing the beaches in the Southland. I don't know what happened to them, if they broke up or they got bored or they all got girlfriends and kind of drifted apart and, now they're more into other stuff. Not quite sure. Long Beach man suing the state of California Lottery Commission, alleging that he was wrongfully denied a $5 million scratcher's ticket prize because his 16-year-old son bought the winning ticket. Well, that would do it there, wouldn't it? Ward Thomas, his lawsuit in LA Superior Court alleges failure to discharge a mandatory duty, breach of contract, negligence, and both intentional and negligent representation. The suit seeks unspecified damages. Thomas says his son bought 5 scratchers tickets at a mobile station on Bellflower in Long Beach on October 16 by exchanging other winning tickets. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but 16 is less than 18. I'm not Albert Einstein, but I'm pretty good on that one there. So sending your boy in to exchange your winning tickets for more scratchers, I thought that was prosecutable. But anywho, one of the 5 that his son exchanged was a winning ticket for a $5 million prize. He validated the ticket at a 7-Eleven store in Long Beach that same day and then validated it again the next day at the lottery office in Santa Ana. Great. However, on December 5th, the Lottery Commission told Thomas that his award was being denied because his son was a minor and was therefore not legally able to play the lottery, the suit states. So the complaint does not state how the commission knew Thomas's son bought the tickets and that the purchaser was under 18. Wild stab. They went to the mobile station and they looked at the video.
The guy was saying that it's not publicized, and there were no signs saying you can't buy them if you're under 18. But I'll bet you right on the scratcher it says must be 18 to play, but maybe not must be 18 to purchase.
Yeah, I can't be bothered getting all that stuff under my fingernails, so I give them to my 8-year-old. But I mean, I wouldn't be. Yeah, but no, I you know what? I might go do some in-depth research when I'm off the air. I think it's pretty clear. You must be 18 to purchase or exchange or whatever. Yeah. And I mean, I'm on his side. I'd like the guy to get the $5 million, but he has to give his brain a chance. You don't send your 16-year-old son in there to exchange the tickets. No. I mean, like I say, I want him to win. I want me to win, but I wouldn't do that. I know. I thought they were always like, hey, you win 2 more scratchers or whatever. It's, it's all attacks on people who are bad at math. So that's what it is. All right. Well, thanks to Josh and Daisy, who did a really cool thing at the Santa Anita Race Ground. But explain real quick, what was the thing you went to? What's it called? It sounds like fun. It's got a name, right? Food all over the place. Good times. Roach coaches. See? And she didn't know what a roach coach was. Didn't know. A deep fried whole squid. That was that looked amazing. So anyway, there's your super hyper local run-in with Angelinos and people from the Southland. From producer Daisy and Michael Chappé, and then I'll be back here tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. filling in for Bill Handel. This is Super Hyper Local Sunday for the 23rd of July, 2017. Out KFI M640, more stimulating talk. Alrighty, bye.